Alright class, jumping into 6-5, solving proportions. Very, very important section, one of my favorites. Use this all the time. The rest of the time you're in high school, very applicable to real life also to solve proportions. So let's jump right into it. You've seen some of this before, shouldn't be totally new. But what is a proportion? It's an equation stating that two ratios or rates are equal. We talked about proportional relationships yesterday. If two things are proportional, they have the same rate or the same ratio. So now we're going to solve some problems that involve proportions and equal ratios and rates. The number one way to solve these is what we call the cross product. A couple ways I've heard the kids say it before. You cross multiply, divide, or you butterfly and divide. However you remember it. Cross product, we're cross multiplying the two ratios or the two fractions. The reason we can do this, if you look up here, I just want to talk about why we can do this. This problem right here, 4 over 2 equals 8 over 4. If I want to get rid of these fractions, if I want to get rid of this fraction over here, I'd multiply both sides by 2. If I multiply by 2, those cancel out there. If I multiply this side by 2, let's just leave that there for now. Okay, so 8 times 2 on top. Now if I want to get rid of this fraction over here, I'm going to multiply by 4. So multiply by 4. Well, those cancel. Those cancel there, top and bottom. I got to multiply this side by 4. So this is where I'm able to cross multiply here. I take this number on the bottom, this 4, and multiply it by this 4, and this 2 multiplies this 8. So that's where I'm able to cross multiply. That's why it works. You don't have to go through all that work every time, but we got to know why we can do this. We're getting rid of the fractions so we can solve the proportion. Alright? So cross product right here is the number one reason or the rule why it works. Let's do some problems, see how it works. Problem 1. B over 15 equals 66 over 90. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the cross products. First way to solve these. So I'm going to take, people call it butterfly. Let's go ahead and do that. Make a little butterfly here. B times 90, that gives me 90B. That. And then I make the second wing of my butterfly as pretty as it is. There we go. Kind of sloppy, but it works. And then I do 15 times 66. And 15 times 66 is 990. So I put an equal sign in between my two multiplication problems. And now how do I solve this equation? I'm going to go back a chapter. I'm taking 90 times b. So I got to do the opposite or the inverse. So I divide by 90. And I got to do it to both sides. So that's gone. It's a 1. Divide by 90. And then 990 divided by 90 gives me 11. B equals 11. Okay, 99 divided by 90 is 11. If I go over here, 3.2 over 9 equals n over 36. Okay, so let's do this mentally. You see this mental tip over here, this study tip. You can solve example 1a mentally. Well, if I look at 1a, let me move these butterfly wings here. If I look at this one, 15 to 90, these ratios are equal. So to go from 15 to 90, if I take 90 divided by 15, that's 6. So to go from 15 to 90, I have to multiply by 6. So I ask myself, what do I have to multiply this by to get to 66? Well, 11 times 6 is 66. So I can get to my answer maybe a little quicker. Still got to kind of show my work of what am I multiplying by to get there, but it all works out. 66 divided by 6 gives me 11. Little small numbers, if we can do it mentally, it works, but still got to show our work. Over here, let's do this one mentally. 9 to 36. Well, what do I multiply 9 by to get to 36? Multiply by 4. 9 times 4 is 36. So I do that to the top and the bottom. Got to do it to both. And then I do 3.2 times 4. And the old school paper method here. Where's the decimal go? Well, there's 1 there, so there's 1 decimal there, 12.8. So in this problem, n equals 12.8. You could also cross multiply and divide. It would also work the same. You get 9n, and you get this bigger number is 100 and something. But you divide, you get 12.8. Now these down here, you can do some mentally. Some don't work as well mentally. 12 doesn't go into 14, so we Can't do that one mentally. But that one actually we can do mentally. 7 over 14 is half. Half of 12 is 6. So there's some that are able to do mentally, some that are not. Here's a word problem. Really good example. You go to an amusement park, you want to know how long a ride is. Some amusement parks tell you how long a wait it is based on how many people are in line. And so they use this similar formula. The wait time of a ride of a roller coaster is 20 minutes when there's 160 people in line. How long a wait is it for 220 people? You want to walk up, you want to know how long you're going to be standing in line there. So if it takes 20 minutes for 160, so I do time over people, then my second fraction I have to do time over people. So I don't know how long it takes, so that's my variable. And the number of people is 220. Here's my proportion. I'm going to cross multiply and divide. Okay, 20 times 220. I'm going to multiply diagonally there. Calculate this. 20 times 220. 4,400. Cross multiply here. W times 160 is 160W. And now how do I solve this? Well, 160 times W, I do the opposite of times. So I divide by 160. Both sides of my problem. And I'm left with W equals 27.5 minutes. That's how long it'll take to get through this line. 27.5 minutes. Right there. So you're cross multiplying and then you're dividing by the number by the variable. Okay, here's another one. Mrs. Hidalgo pays $30 for 4 students to visit an art museum. What's the cost of 20 students? Alright, so same thing. We're going to do money over number of people. Alright, so $30 over 4 people. How many is it for 20? This one I think could be done mentally. Alright, 4 times 5 gives me 20. And then 30 times 5 should give me my answer, which is $150. Let's see if I'm right. There it is. Okay, we could go through and cross multiply. 30 times 20 is 600. 600 equals 4x, but it'll still give me the same answer of 15. Take 600 divided by 4, and you get 150. Alright? Last problem. Before we go on, let's look at what they did right here. They found a constant rate, which we talked about yesterday, the constant of proportionality. How much does it cost per one student? That's really just asking for the unit rate from section 2 of this chapter. But the unit rate is you take the top number divided by the bottom number. So in this problem, $30 for 4 students. They did 30 divided by 4, and that was $7.50 per student. So the cost equals $7.50 times the number of students. So the constant is always going to be $7.50. No matter how many students you bring, it's going to be $7.50. Alright? So let's apply this to this last problem here. Matthew paid $49.45 for 5 DVDs at a sale. Write and solve a proportion to find the cost of 8 DVDs. So let's do it our normal way, and then we're going to work on writing an equation. So, cost over number of items, so 49.45 over 5 DVDs is equal to, or equivalent to, I don't know how much yet, for 8 DVDs. Alright, so I'm going to cross multiply here, 49.45 times 8, and I get $395.60. And that's going to equal, cross multiply there, hit 5x. And then to solve, to see how much it costs for 8 of them, I divide both sides by 5. And I get an answer of $79.12. So that's how much 8 DVDs cost. Well, how many would it cost for 11? Well, they want me to write an equation, not a proportion necessarily for this. They want me to write an equation, so let me erase this previous work, hopefully write that down quickly. For part B, I want to write an equation. Well, how much would it cost per DVD? That's just like we talked about the last page. per DVD. I take the cost divided by the number. So $49.45 divided by 5. And that's going to be my unit or my constant of proportionality. So 49, don't mean to put the tail there. 49.45 divided by 5. Put some sound effects in here, make it a little more interesting. $9.89 for every DVD. Alright. Money sign, we like cash. Alright. That's how much our constant of proportionality is. So, just like back on this page, quick. C equals my constant times the number of items. Well, so for my equation, my cost is going to be equal to my constant. We said $9.89. So that's what every DVD costs. Times how many DVDs I buy. Right there. Now I don't have to solve proportion necessarily. This is my equation. How many DVDs I buy, I multiply by $9.89. So they want to know 11 DVDs. So I plug in 11 right here. So I do $9.89 times 11, and that's going to give me my cost. No multiplying or dividing needed. I already took care of that by doing this equation. $9.89 times 11 is $108.79. Alright, and the nice thing about this equation, if they ask multiple types of problems, we can solve it multiple times. They want to know how many for 50 DVDs, 100 DVDs, 72 DVDs, 3 DVDs. We just plug in that number right here and multiply, we'll get our answer. Which is really nice about these equations if we set them up. Okay, so here's my problem. I already did that part. Right there, how much will it cost for 11? Right there, $108.79. Alright, hope you had fun. I know I did. Put a smile on your face and do the homework. Bye.